at the moment on the way down, as we know at the moment. The question is how far does it go down from here? And what about the state of the UK economy? I'm with Ross Burland. Ross is head of corporate dealings at RationalFX. Right. Well, I was astonished by this move overnight. You seen anything like this?
Biggest move ever, I believe. You know, to fall that far in such a short period of time, quite clearly the market had seen the pound as overvalued. You know, all it took was Mervyn King to come out and just say really what was already in place. We are entering a recession.
But, I mean, did we need that? I mean, we already probably knew with the amount of anecdotal evidence out there that that was the case.
Well, we noticed yesterday's trading in cable, for instance, there was an awful lot of support around the 170 level. It did break that. It did go all the way down into 168, but found its footing again in the 170s, and that speech just completely killed the pound. So here on, I think we're looking now towards more an MPC move towards growth. That's what they'll be tackling, rather than inflation. I think those concerns now, with the economy in the state that it is going to be backtracked, and that's where we're heading now.
All right, how far do we go down now? And we do, of course, have Bank of England minutes, but probably unanimity there. Most people, everybody I've talked to, saying it's going to be 9-0.
Yeah.
Also GDP numbers on Friday.
OK. Well, I think really we're going to have to look at the psychological levels, really. This isn't going to be a free fall, and this is a huge move. We will see a move back, maybe towards the 170 mark, but we'll find a bit of a grounding here, I believe. The 150s is still very much in play, though.
OK, what about the way the euro and sterling have been behaving as well? Saw a move down for the euro against the pound, but the euro has come back, trading what at the moment? 79 pence at the moment.
Yeah, well, the euro has been actually relatively strong in an environment where there's actually potential structural problems for the eurozone. You know, one size doesn't fit all scenario. So the pound has actually done pretty well against the euro, where we've seen dollar strengthening against the euro day on day, week on week. Potentially, I think we may see the sterling euro way around back into the 130s, because there's an awful lot of strain on the eurozone.
So I'm looking at it the other way. I was looking at pence, so you can see it down to what, 75, thereabouts.
Exactly.
What about the other, plays out there? What are your predictions? Have you chucked them out the window with what's been happening over the last couple of days or even this week?
No, absolutely not. I think, it's very fundamental. We're in a state of play here where, looking from an investor's point of view, where are you going to go? You're going to fly to safety, and that is the US dollar. Very bad news for Asian emerging markets, Eurozone as well. The carry trades in the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, supporting the yen. So it's very much still a one-way bet in terms of the dollar and the yen.
Yeah, how high does the yen go then?
I think, well, against the dollar, this could be resistance now at 100. Below that, not too far. I mean, it's not going to run away with things, but we will find support, absolutely.
OK, you mentioned what's happening. It's not just the unwinding of these carry trades when it comes to the Australian dollar. There's more to it than that, isn't there? Well,
indeed there is. With interest rates coming down now, we've also seen sluggish growth in the housing sector, less demand. I mean, commodity prices coming down, China beginning to slow up. It's all going to weigh on the Australian dollar. It's benefited so well over the 10-year boom.
So same with the New Zealand would apply there?
Absolutely, yes. That's
OK,
right.
So, what's your favourite trade right now, and how would you do it?
Well, cable. It's got to be cable. Cable, I think we've got a little potential here to be buying again before the way back down, because this does seem to be a one-way bet. Until we find a footing for global markets, the dollar is a one-way bet. It has to be. In fact, probably more interestingly enough, and ironically, it would actually be potentially, as recessions begin to slow down and we see a growth pact going forward, that could then be the demise of the dollar. But at the moment, it's a one-way bet.
But, just about a year ago, people were talking about the long-term structural decline of the US, which would ultimately result in the dollar getting ever weaker. Is that out of the window, or is this just a respite from that?
No, I think this is a respite from that. Potentially there's definitely a bearish tone on the dollar looking again forward, but in this near term, we're seeing dollar strength purely as investors are looking for a safe haven.
Now, how low do interest rates go then, I suppose? And that's going to be key to some extent in the States, here, and also for the euro area.
The overnight index swaps in terms of sterling pricing in at least 2 full basis points towards the end of next year. The US can't go much further. So that's really why we're seeing this. We're seeing a huge differential in the interest rate differentials. Significant change in overnight index swaps. Yes, sterling will be coming down in terms of interest rates.
Do you expect a short-term bounce for these other currencies against the dollar when we actually get confirmation, if we get confirmation that there's a recession in the US too?
Well, we already know that.
I haven't had 2 quarters of negative.
We haven't had 2 quarters, no. But looking forward, yes. I mean, we are going to see that. It's not, markets can't move. It's not that efficient. It will not move in one direction. There will be opportunities to buy up, but the trend is very much intact.
Okay, key data we should be looking at this week, perhaps?
Friday GDP.
That's going to be key here in the UK.
Yes, it will be, and also I think will sort of paint a picture for the rest of the globe as well.
And EFO next week, I believe, as well, out of Germany.
That's right. Yeah, confidence. Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed for that. Ross Burland there from RationalFX, having a look at what could happen, and he is he's a seller of sterling at the moment, and got a bit of a downer on the British pound at the moment as well, there. And I'm not sure what you said about the euro. You're also thinking it's going to